feedback? No, first of all, you told me that the Alla Prima book is your go-to in the studio. Is that
Yes,
correct?
100%.
Okay.
It's that I teach from it. If you're menteed by me, it's required reading. The 3 methods that I teach directly from are the monochrome method,
Okay.
the selective start, which he calls the grand method,
And
the
he
accurate
was
color
very
wash.
big on knowing your colors, right?
Yes.
So part of the Alla Prima book are those charts
Oh,
with the
yes.
color. And do you make your students do some of that?
Absolutely, color charts
Yeah.
are necessary. And
Yeah.
if you introduce a new paint into your palette,
It's going to change everything.
Yes.
So if you're familiar with, the French ultramarine blue, even in one company, and then you get maybe new try Michael Harding, or now you're trying an alizarin, then you want to do it again. You want to explore it. The how opaque it's going to be, how saturated it's going to be, if you need a little or a lot. So you're always learning if you're adding new things into your arsenal.
Yeah.
And then anytime I have a question on anything, I go back to my Alla Prima and go, I'm sure either he painted a cat, or he painted a landscape, or he painted a person, and I'm going to find the answers. Or a woman in white dress, and Richard has the answers. So I always think that I've seen them all, and then we get another edition.
I know.
So,
and I was so excited when I looked through this last night. All I could think about is how badly I need my students to see some of the paintings that I've never seen myself. And I've seen everything in Richard's studio a couple of times. So I am like, can't believe there are paintings in here I've never seen before. And there's so much to learn because they got really huge, like detail.
Yes.
You can see texture. You can see washes. You can see brush mark making. It's just a treasure.
I'm so glad that you got to stop here and talk painthood. So this is Michelle's beautiful portrait, and you were referring to this even today on stage, weren't you? So, and she was talking about how Richard actually did this over 2 sessions.
Yes.
Right. And then what was it about that eye that you were talking about and really going into the focus there?
Well, what was amazing with this is it was very impromptu, and it talks a little bit about this in the text. Is I was coming over to paint with him in Nancy's studio, and Scott Burdick was there, and he said, actually, I'd like to paint you. Do you mind modeling? And I was like, sure, it's what I'm wearing. Okay. He's like, it's great, And so we sat down, and he started painting my portrait, and he said, I'm going to give this to you. And I was like, really? And he's like, of course. And then a couple hours into it, he's like, ooh, I really like this. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to sell it instead. I was like, that's okay. It's okay. I understand. And then the second day, he kind of just did some detail working in the eye. Yeah. And he's like, and he signed it, with love from Richard to my friend Michelle. And he's like, I'm giving it to you. He not only gave it to me, he framed it. It's beautiful. It hangs in my studio. And Scott had filmed it just for his records.
Yeah.
And so they were talking. Everyone was talking during the time because it was a group painting session. Nancy painted a painting. Actually, Nancy did 3 portraits. Like shooting it around, and yeah. She's so talented. And then Scott told him, this footage is really good in high definition. Let's do a voiceover. Let's put it out there. And it was the last instructional video he did.
Oh my gosh!
Just like,
so what did it mean to you to see that they were putting this collection together?
The book,
yeah.
So Nancy had showed me this over Zoom digitally, and I teared up looking at it because so Richard was really into music. Anyone that knows him, knows he's like just really into composers and music. And there's so many correlations between fine art and music. There's such a variety of work in here. Drawings, Conte, watercolor, oil, transparent oil, opaque oil.
Aren't in the other books.
No. Right. 80% of this has never been published before. And it feels like, I told Nancy, like listening to a symphony as you look through this book, because the way different images go into other images, on the different pages with color harmonies, with close-up details, it's like all those different elements of painting are like a symphony where it's like one is the strings, one is the, one is the flute, one is the brass,
one is
and it just, each painting is exquisite, but it just flows with such authenticity and such variety of techniques, and you feel you can see how he looked at the world. It's just really beautiful, which to me is an artist's greatest legacy.
Yes. And when you were talking about this morning in your demo, how art can uplift even in some really trying times, it sounds like everybody who got to work with Richard not only remembers the lessons, but the spirit that he brought to the studio. And again, the way that he brought these amazing artists together who all had big hearts and big love and a generosity of spirit lived on in his books.
And we should mention, Tina might have mentioned it, It's just what Richard was working on the last 3 years of his life. Like every time I came over to visit him in his studio, he had his 3x5 transparencies, and he was picking and choosing what to put in the book. And he took me out into the garage, and there was this stack of unstretched paintings.
Yeah.
And he started flipping through them really fast. None of them had been published or seen.
Wow.
And that's what's in here.
That's amazing.
And it's just, it's an exquisite history of what an artist was visually captivated by in his life.
And that's
it's
special that he is a part of this book.
Yeah.
From beginning to end. Thank you.
Yeah, he really did. He completed it before he passed. Nancy just spent a lot of time color correcting it and bringing it to perfection because she'd seen the originals, and it's just
and they had a lot of
beautiful
integrity with the reproduction. And I think even from Alla Prima 1 to Alla Prima 2, I was seeing
Nancy was on so much to get just the color exactly right.
Yes.
So it's like one of the best. I mean, the reproductions in person, I'd seen it digitally, but seen it in person, I'm like, the color is just amazing.
Well, it takes a team, takes a village, put something like this together. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks, honey.
Oh.